Makeup. Look at my thing.
I'm right up there seeing the screen.
What's
up, everybody? We ain't gonna be here long. Y'all like you say that shit all the time, Mechee. But no, we're really not gonna be here long.
Because I'm gonna be boo loving on the phone. Because when I get that phone call,
we gotta go. I do want to say what's up to everybody, you guys. I know I ain't been live in a couple of days, but you know that's what it is when we get here on the tour. I'm busy as hell. You see, I look crazy as hell,
and I'm tired as hell.
Yes, I got shit to do. So somebody said, where you been? Look, don't act like you don't know. Y'all know when it's time to tour, y'all don't see me. I be having stuff to do, man. We have been busy. We've been in the airport all day. I know that I say I'm gonna, try and tune in and go live, but I be lying, y'all. I be busy. Right now, I don't even need to be live. I need to be answering emails, responding to these vendors.
Sleeping.
I don't have time for sleep. I'm not going to sleep.
Resting your voice.
I'm not going to sleep, right? My voice is constantly gone.
We'll go to sleep on Sunday.
We got Gwendolyn saying what's up. We have
we're live on Dr. Shonna's page too.
Cassandra saying what's up. We all saying what's up. Oh my God! Listen, guys, we got a lot to talk about. First of all, let's get into tomorrow with the tickets and let people know.
Yes. Let me say that to everybody again, and we on Shonna's live too. So if y'all know, but let me let everybody know that we do have some room left in the room, right? But you guys can get tickets now for a donation. As I say all of the time, we don't do this to put $1 in our pocket. It's about getting free. And let me say this too, because
I think you got to break that down, though.
Yeah, Mechee just addressed it. Let me address that. It's not that you can't make money off doing the work that you do. No, you don't have to be an activist and be all in the slums and bust your ass and not do nothing. But Mechee does things like sell T-shirts and merchandise and things of that nature. To me, it's more important that the tour happens, right? And so when the dollars come in, this is what we use it for. And the community has made this happen, right? We sold tickets, but the community has donated. It's a lot of people who don't live in Houston who have given money because they want other people to be here, even if they can't make it, right? They've been to the other Black agendas. They think it's necessary. And so once that's been paid for, I don't know what I look like telling, people you got to still give me money when we have been able to pay for everything already, right? And so for me, it's more important once it's paid for that we have Black bodies in the room, right? This information gotta get out to people. We gotta get these solutions. We have to come together and make these plans so that we can get free. And so for me, it's more important. So, and let me say this too. I love the people because even though I say come to the door and you guys can get in for a donation, if you ain't got a donation, we ain't gonna tell you can't come in, right? But I would tell you that people still show love, and at the door, people still even give tremendously. That allows us to move on, right? So we're gonna definitely take those donations and put them towards next year and start planning. So a lot of you guys have reached out to me and said, are you coming here? Are you coming there? And so y'all continue to let me know where you guys want us to come, right? Because we're coming where the people, a voice is the loudest saying, come over here.
I want to say something too about the ticket things. I think what people have to understand, everyone does their events differently, right? What I appreciate about Mechee and her event is when you are buying a ticket, people make the assumption that you're buying a ticket so that Mechee can profit. That is not what Mechee does. When you buy a ticket initially, you buy a ticket so you can get the venue, the space, and everything else that needs to be done. You got to understand, people, we have regular lives outside of this, right? Right?
Hell yeah. That's why y'all don't see me for 4 or 5 days.
Come on, I'm a therapist. I have a wait list. I see people every day. We have regular lives. So when people are buying tickets, you're not buying tickets so that we can eat. You're buying tickets so y'all can bring us to your city. And then once the goal is met, the doors get open to everybody, even if you have not purchased a ticket. And I think it's really important for me to break that down because Mechee be talking fast. You be talking fast as hell.
But if y'all been watching me long enough, maybe not on Shonna
your community.
Y'all been talking about how to keep up with me.
Yeah, on your community. But we talking about my community, right? So the thing is, somebody says, what are they buying? When I say what are you buying, you're not only buying a ticket to get in, but we give strategy and solutions. You have to be there. There's a lot of people in our chats that have come to other cities so they never can get. I can only talk for DC because that's the city that I was in. You're walking away. People come there with their pens, their papers. They come ready. They come with solutions. They get websites. They get strategies. They get a lot of different things. So when I say
they find out about partners in their community that they might not have even
you get
known
you
about
get partnerships in your community. You meet people in your community. You're able to build. It's not just something like you just come and just to talk. You get what I'm saying? But my point is, after the ticket is sold, you get to come in.
No, I want to say this too. Somebody said, can Mechee stay in her lane? I'm not sure. What is my lane? Do you even know me to tell me what my lane is? Now, I'm going to be nice because we on drshonna Live a little bit. Yeah, and it's not just mine, but what is my lane? Do you even know me? Do you even know what I do? So I'm not going to start cussing at you, but I'm going to tell you, please just be quiet. Can I stay in my lane? Do you know what my lane is? I stay in my lane all day long, and I drive my lane very well. Thank you very much. I also want to say this, is that when people say, what are you getting or paying for? Freedom ain't free. It's going to cost you a whole lot than the ticket price to get into a venue. It may cost you everything. So my question is, how serious are you about getting free, right? So it's not about you buying a ticket to purchase something, like you're going to come in there and walk away with a basket of freedom. Okay, what we're actually doing is, in that room, we are talking about strategies, and we are collaborating with people all across this nation to implement that strategy and codes. Because black people love screaming, stay on code. 90% of us don't even know what that code is. Don't know what that means. All have our own idea of what code is, right? So how do we understand what the code is that's supposed to get us free? So what we do in that room is we come with
everybody has a different opinion of what on code is.
They do, and that's the problem. We need to have a more unified code across the nation. This is why we can't get anywhere.
I think that's true, but I also think that people in their egos, beliefs, religions, all these things that divide us, it gets in the way.
Absolutely.
Like for me, I'm the kind of person, if I find something in you that resonates with me, meaning I can connect with, and we are respectful toward each other, and we have love for each other, that's all I need. I don't get caught up in drama. I don't get caught up in ego. I don't get caught up in any of that stuff, because the vision is more important to me.
Absolutely.
The vision is more important.
Absolutely, but let me say that too, at the Black Agenda, is that is exactly what we do, right? If you come into the room with the Black Agenda, you're going to see the Nation of Islam in there, whether they're working security, whether they're helping us, whether they're telling you about the things that they offer to the community. Because let's make this clear too. A lot of people think that the Nation of Islam is just something you have to be a Muslim, you have to go to church. A lot of times we say, or go to the mosque. A lot of times we say, well, the Jews built their communities, the Asians do this, why we can't do like them? What we fail to realize is that the Nation of Islam has actually done all of those things. So why can't we use them as an example? Even if you don't want to rock with the religion or whatever it is you think that they do, the Nation of Islam has schools. And what you may not know is that you don't have to be Muslim to go to their school. You know what I'm saying? The Nation of Islam gives free self-defense classes in most communities, and you don't have to be Muslim to partake in those training, right? So they are a solution to the community. I think too many times we worry about what we don't agree with instead of where we do agree. You're also going to see brothers that are Hebrew Israelites in that room. You're going to see Christians. You're going to see non-Christians. You're going to see atheists. You're going to see people who practice voodoo. Like, we all come in this room and we don't let that separate us. Because what we do agree is that we need to find a way to become the solutions we've been looking for and rise up so that we can get out of the situation.
In my opinion, I think that's why the Honorable Marcus Garvey was so successful what he did, because he removed religion out of it. It was a more of unifying the people. It was more of building the nation. It was more of having us love ourselves as blacks. And I think that oftentimes we miss that point. We look at all the things that divide us. Yes. Oh, I don't like you because you think you're stuck up, you're bougie. I don't like you because you light skinned. I don't like you because you dark skinned. I don't like you because you skinny. I don't like you because you fat, because you educated, because you're not educated. You live in the hood, you live in the suburbs. There's so many things that divide us.
Yes.
And so people always try to figure me out because I roll with so many different people.
Right.
Because they have the vision that I have.
Right, and that's what matters. I think too many times we focus on what it is we don't agree instead of where we do agree, right?
Absolutely.
Right. And so for me, I agree with you. I'm rolling with anybody who's a part of the vision and a part of anything that gets us free. That's why the Black Agenda is not just Mechee. It's a collaboration of a whole lot of black people as well. You'll be there. Michael Imhotep is there. We have Golden Child in the house. We have several speakers. We will have, when we go to every community, we also have speakers from that community. But the point is that we have to come together and we have to find out how to get free. Too much, we're off code. And I think that code means that, first of all, we need to focus on what it is that we agree with. Two, we need to also focus on how do we come together and grow those things that we agree in, which is that we're all oppressed. That's probably the one thing that we can agree with, right? And so at the Black Agenda, that's what we do. I don't want to do a whole lot of hooping and hollering and have a good time. I could stay home for that shit. Let me tell y'all something. I'm tired. I'm tired. I could stay home if I was just going to have church. I could have stayed a pastor and stayed in the church and hooped and hollered and made people feel good when they leave, right? We actually give you solutions that you can go home, that once you leave, we put the onus on you. You don't get to look at me like I'm a leader.
Yeah.
I don't want to be nobody's leader. And some people might say, well, you are anyway. No, the truth is, I want them to get up and see the leader within themselves. We can give you all the solutions, and you can walk out of the Black, you will walk out of the Black agenda with a lot of solutions that you can do individually, things in your community that you can start within the next 5 hours when you go home. It's up to you what you take and you
implement. People have to be able to apply that.
Yeah,
I'm not going to put anybody's name, and I'm going to leave the group name out of it, but you already know what group I'm talking about that I belong a part of. And we build relationships in that group. We went around the nation for a whole year, and we followed each other for a whole year. And out of that group, there was a select number of us that all came together, and we bought property. We bought property, and we have the property to today. So I say that only to say that when you come to, whether it's the Black Agenda or some other group, I don't care where you go. You can go to ADOS conference, it doesn't matter. When you go to wherever you're going, it is up to you, the people, to build relationships and to build connections. We will give you the space. We will give you the strategies. We will give you the information. But you have to foster those relationships. And we got to get to the point where we trust people. And I think the reason why we was able to get that property is because we put aside any differences that we may have had, even though I don't know of any, but we may have differences because we're not all the same. We put it aside, and the lack of trust, we put it aside. And those who were serious are the ones that actually purchased the property.
But I think that we can do things like that all the time.
We can do it all the time.
But those are the solutions we talk about. Yes, right. That's what we need more. That's what I'm talking about. Because there are communities right now that are gentrified, and we're complaining about the gentrification. But yet, and still, when we get that tax return, instead of buying the $500 lot next door to the house that we live in, so that we can own a piece of that land, we complain when the white folks come in and take it. But that land has been empty next to your house your whole growing up, and it's good. And so we don't see the value in our communities. And then when we see people come in and they see the value and buying it cheap and building it up and pushing us out, all you gotta do is get together, take a couple sisters in a tax return, damn some Jordans, some TVs when tax season come, buying you a new couch from Rent-A-Center, sit on the floor. You've been sitting on the floor all year. Keep sitting on that floor, right? Put y'all money together, and guess what? Voila, you could own a block. If 3 sisters got together with a $10,000 tax return, and that's about the average if you got babies today, let me tell you what they could do with that.
They could do a lot with that. Yeah, yes. You know what I think it is? I think a lot of us, we're modeling our system after white people.
Absolutely.
And if it don't look like the white man, it ain't good enough.
You're right.
And we think that we have to have all these fancy degrees, all this fancy education in order for us to do something productive for our people. Whereas some of y'all are sending your kids to preschools, child development centers with unqualified people that are just babysitting your kids, and you give your money over to them freely. Why don't you open that for yourself?
Absolutely. But
why don't you open that for yourself?
But you know what? That's one of the things that we say at the Black Agenda is we are our answer. There's not anything that we need that we don't have in our own community. Absolutely. It's not. We have the money. And for people who watch me, I break that down to you all the time. So if you watch me, I expect you to already know, right? If somebody say, what's wrong, Mechee? You look tired. I am. I'm tired. I'm very mentally, physically, and emotionally drained. And I'm very much looking forward to this weekend. But I am also looking forward to taking a break. This has been very taxing on me. And I'm tired, right? But, you know, I talk to my people all the time about the money that we spend on other things. And so we have the money in our community. I point out how we have the money because we spend it on everything. So quickly, you know, just some stuff. $54 billion in tithes and offerings a year. But we don't own our communities. We can't buy up our blocks. Right. You know, we spend billions of dollars every year on Jordans. Right? And these are just black people. I'm not talking about even the white people that buy it, right? When we talk about all the holidays that I break down and the billions that we spend every year on all of these things, we spend millions on a Popeye's chicken sandwich. So in a weekend. You see what I'm saying? So every dollar adds up, and we give our money to the wrong places. I'm not asking black people to go get extra jobs. I'm not asking them to find more money. I'm asking them to learn to reallocate the money that we already have and put it in the right places within our community. So we have the money. We have the ability to police our own communities. We have the ability to build our own communities. When you come to the Black Agenda, I will have you raise your hand, and you would be surprised how many people I say, well, who are the teachers in this room? Hands go up. Yeah. Who are the people that have financial knowledge in this room? Hands go up. Who in here knows how to do self-defense or training when it comes to a weapon? People's hands go up. Yeah. I look at them and I say to you, you're the damn solutions in your community. So get up and go be a part of these things. You're exactly what we need. So we have these things in our community. We have everything that we need. We have the folks that have the knowledge. We have the money. We just have to begin to start using it so that we can build it to build up our own nation of people. Mm-hmm. Everybody else does it here. And that's just what we need to do. And I'm going to tell you this country owes us a whole lot. A whole lot. And there's a whole lot that they need to give us, right? But at the same time, I will tell you this. Before we can demand anything from this country, we have got to get ourselves in a position to be able to say this is what we want or else. We're not in a position to demand anything. They think we're a joke. So before we can get to that point, we have to build ourselves up. We have to build our communities. We have to build our people.
And
it can be done. You know, and then we can go demand what we want.
I did a video a while back, and I said a lot of times what I get sick and tired of is when black people say, I don't want to open my business in here because it's the hood. Are they going to rob me? They're going to shoot me. Ain't no money here. They make all these disparaging anti-black statements.
Absolutely.
About black people. Whereas if there was no money in that hood, why are Asian people coming in your hood opening a business? Why are Arabs in your hood opening a business? You would go into the most ghettoest neighborhood, and when it comes time to collect rent, you would see Jewish people. And I'm not saying anything against the Jewish population, but you would see Jewish people going through the community, collecting their rent, and they're there. They're buying up all these houses. But when we look at our own community, we see poverty. Mm-hmm. We see brokenness.
But so why does everybody else see wealth? I mean, you made a good point. I've said that before. You turn around and the first thing the Asians do is they drop a beauty supply or a nail shop in the middle of the hood. I don't know. They not lacking no meals. They not lacking no dollars. They not lacking living in no luxury.
But
so
why immigrants get
right? But I'm just right. No.
We gotta look at how immigrants got their come up.
But it's not even about how they got the opportunity.
That's not what we're talking about.
But when they got the dollar, where did they think to go invest and build their business?
That's
they went to the hood. So does it tell you from a business perspective that we're poor as hell? Who would build a business and say, I'm going to go just drop my shit in the poorest neighborhood and think it's going to be successful? Absolutely. They know that we're not poor. We're poor-minded.
But we're not talking about them knowing that we're not poor, because they know what they know.
Right.
I'm saying, why is it when we see our own communities and our own people, we see poverty. We see this lack. Mm-hmm. There's nothing there. It's destitute. I want us to start looking at our people as abundance. And be the resources that we need to be.
Everybody else is abundant because of us.
Everybody else is eating because of us. Everybody else's children go to private schools because of us. They live in the best neighborhoods because of us. They own houses because of us. They go to college because of us. They have their business for us. They go back and Ivy League colleges. They go back and forth to their countries because of us.
Absolutely.
But when we see us, we see poverty. Right. We see division. We see jealousy. We see strife. We see hate. We see self-hate. We see divide and conquer.
I agree with you. I'm going to ask my moderators, block them people. I said what I said, and I stand in what I said, and I'm done talking about it. If you agree, you agree. If you don't, you don't. If you feel a certain way about Mr. Whoever, because we ain't going to keep saying his name over here, go over there and watch him and get off my live then. I make no apology. I meant what I said, and I stand in it. Now shut up coming to my page talking to me about it. We over here talking about solutions and some real stuff. So if you don't want to hear this, go away.
I don't even pay them any mind.
Go away. I'm gonna need my moderators. I'm gonna need my moderators to block all them folks coming in here because y'all don't subscribe to my page just to come over here and talk junk. Shut up. Okay? And I'm being really nice because I'm on another live with Dr. Shonna. If we weren't on Dr. Shonna's live over here on this other device, I'd let you have it. But right now, we're going to stay focused on the subject, okay? And that would be, is that you're right. We have all these things in our community. Everybody else comes up off of our backs, and we don't seem to see the value in who we are. I need us to start seeing our hoods and our communities as valuable as when other people come through. White folks come through and they say, look at all these empty damn communities. Look at all of these blank neighborhoods. Look at all of these empty lots. Do you know how cheap I could buy this? And then we can build on it for nothing. And then once we move in, we build and we bring up the property value, and then we can price all these Negroes out and just push them out of here so that we can take over their community. Absolutely. Look how cheap this community is. But it's not of any value to us. We don't see any value in the $500 lot next door to our house, and we don't see how you can go and get that lot for $500, and I'm not lying. In Detroit, there are $500 lots. In Chicago, there are dollar lots.
Well, they ain't in Jersey.
Chicago. Well, you know what? Well, I mean, in a lot of these neighborhoods,
crazy in Jersey.
So depending on these communities, but you don't have to live in these communities to benefit from them. How come all these white people keep flying into Detroit? Fly your ass into Detroit and go buy some property.
The reason why I said thank you for saying, because a lot of people, when they hear it, I just need people to think critically. People who have been with me for a long time know I'm always preaching to remove your emotions and just think critically, right? People, when we make these statements, they say, well, I left the hood and I'm not going back to the hood and ain't nothing wrong with that and I live in a nice neighborhood and I got houses. You're not thinking critically. The people who are in your communities right now making money off of your communities do not live in your hood. No one is telling you where to live at. I don't give a flying F-U-C-K where you live at. I don't care where you live at.
Right.
What I'm saying is be the provider for your people. That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Be the provider for your people.
Absolutely. And these are the type of solutions we give people. Because even like I say about that lot, you can buy a lot for $500 in Detroit. You can buy a container off of Amazon, if you don't know, for about $7,000. That container comes to you, it's already put together.
You can buy a house now.
Well, you can
buy Amazon for $10,000.
Hold on,
a whole mini house.
You could probably go to Detroit and buy a whole house for $7,000. You got to put a little work into it, but
I'm saying a brand new house. Amazon will deliver it for free.
But this is what I'm saying, right? But for $7,000, you can buy this container, not a storage, but it's a container.
Like a trailer,
yes,
right?
And they'll drop it on the property, and what happens is the structure's already there. So all you have to do then is get somebody to put up the sheetrock, which is not expensive, lay the electricity. Most of those lots had houses on them, so the pipes and the water is still there underneath the land, right? The house has just been knocked down. And what you do to it, I'm not saying living in a house, you turn that mug into a community store. And then the lot next to that, you buy it, $5,000, put a fence around it, get you some supplies, build you a community garden. You can sell that produce at that store in the middle of your community. You can also turn around before the produce go bad and have the children then go pass it out to the other people in the community before it goes bad, and that's how you start to build relationships and you become a community again instead of just a neighborhood. But these are the type of things that
or you could do nails.
You could make a nail shop.
Or
you can do whatever.
Clothes.
Right.
You could do whatever you need to do.
Get the lot and stop thinking that you need $500,000 to buy to build a building on a lot. You don't need to do that today. You can actually buy a lot, and for about $15,000, you can get the cheaper version of a modular home, which is a home that is already put together. They'll just come sit that shit on your land. Boom, already made.
That's off Amazon.
About $15,000. A nice one is about $25,000.
Delivery included.
Yes. Somebody said what?
Somebody's asking about how's the water in Detroit.
How is the water in Detroit? Yeah. The water in Detroit is just like the water everywhere else. Don't kid yourself. Trust and believe me. People talk about Flint. I need you to go do your research. There are 13 other cities that have higher lead levels than Flint. Crazy. But they won't tell you that. And that's why they don't care nothing about fixing the lead levels in Flint. Because we all got lead in our water. So if you want to be really serious, then get your paper up and go on and buy you some land and dig you a well and never drink any other kind of water again. Because they poison us that way in every city.
Water is listen, when there's going to be black people, there's going to be poison water. You better believe it.
Time.
It's not a mistake why these other cities are now popping up with water lead in the water. It's not a mistake why this is happening. You get what I'm saying? But we keep falling for the trickery with propaganda and how propaganda identifies a city and then they blow up that one city and all of our attention goes in that one city. Meanwhile, the water you're drinking is toxic. And I don't understand how people don't think. It's not a coincidence. The most recent thing in the news has been Newark, New Jersey. The lead has been in those pipes forever. That's what I'm saying. You got to think about why these things come up and why it goes in the media, why it becomes part of the propaganda. You got to think about the timing when they release this information. We got to think critically. Absolutely. Not only why is there lead in our water, but why are you telling us now? How long has it been in our water? We got to think that way.
Somebody said, how could they find out more information on the Black Agenda? So you could go to theblack-agenda-movement.com and you can go check out our mission statement and things like that on the page. We will be updating it after Houston, and we will add to the page where you will get to see all the cities we went to this year. We'll recap some of that. We'll put some pictures and things like that up, right? But Houston will be our last city, so we're actually done with the tour this year. So if you can't make it out to Houston, you didn't make it out to the other cities, you will have to wait until next year, but we will get started again next year in the spring. So
do you even know what cities We're going to be hitting?
Well, we do know some of the cities. We'll definitely be going to New Orleans. We'll be going to St. Louis. We'll be going to Memphis.
I love Memphis.
We'll be going to Baltimore. Let me see. We'll be coming back to Texas. We're thinking Fort Worth, but people are like Dallas. But I'm thinking Fort Worth. But we'll be back to Texas.
Somebody said Dallas, hands down. You wasting your time with Fort Worth. That's what.
We wasting our time in Fort Worth. So anyway, we will be back to. We'll be back in Texas. So we're gonna do about 12 to 15 cities next year. I was all happy. Like we're gonna do 20, but I can't. I don't have it in me, y'all. It's a lot doing this stuff. I would be dead if I do 20 tours next year.
You ain't got a damn voice.
I know. I don't. All of this talking has taken a big strain on my voice. All of these cities every 2 weeks. But we definitely going to hit at least 12. We did 8 this year. So we're going to at least do 4 more cities than this year. So we will be doing 12 cities next year, 12 to 15. And we'll start in the spring and we'll do this thing until it gets cold again, until about November like now. And then we will be done again for next year. But we don't stop. The Black Agenda isn't just coming in to do this and not continue. You will see the Black Agenda every year. There's several phases to what we do. So we're in the first phase now, and don't ask me what's the second and the third, because if I was going to tell everybody all the business, then there's no point in doing the Black Agenda and telling people not to cut on their cameras. Just know that we're in the first phase. The first phase is nothing more than uniting people, getting this knowledge out so that we can get groups in every city, individuals as well as organizations on the same code. They understand what we've planned to do, and we can get that unity so that we have these connections across the nation, and we have built these relationships. And so we're going to be doing that for the first couple of years because that takes time, right?
Somebody's asking, what was the question that they asked? I want to be able to get to that. I don't want to lose it. Charleston, South Carolina, and you come back to Atlanta.
I think we probably will hit Atlanta again because Mechee's actually moving to Atlanta. So that would be a really good, easy city for me to do. I could just drive from my house and go to the event center.
What about Charleston, South Carolina? I think you said.
Yeah, that's probably one on there too. So what I will ask everybody, right, that wants us to come to their city, because we're coming where the demand is and where we feel, people have been reaching out to us. In those places I named, we have people left and right. So let me say this. If you're an organization, because we need organizations' help, right? Somebody said Detroit. Detroit was actually our first city out the gate. I will tell you, I don't know if we're coming back to Detroit again, but I will tell y'all this. If you are in Detroit, please get in touch with New Era Detroit. Get in touch with the People's Action. They are doing a damn thing out there. I love those brothers and sisters. I personally collaborate with them. We actually at the Black Agenda use their street code from New Era Detroit as something that we have taken and collaborated with them and said that we want to promote this as the national street code. So get in touch with them brothers and sisters, because they out in the streets doing the work. Like y'all talking about Mechee, come on. They out there doing the work. You already have some really great solutions in your community. So I will refer you to them in the meantime. But we did hit Detroit already. So shout out to Detroit. That's my hometown. But you guys hit me up at therealmecheex@gmail.com, right? And let me know if we were in Oakland. Oh, you miss Oakland. Oakland was so dope. We was in Oakland. We were actually at Jeffrey's Inner Circle. Oakland was really great. And so you guys let me know where y'all would like to see us. If you are organizations, it's really great because we like to work with the organizations, right? That we can present you to the community. We can build this relationship with you guys. So if your organizations, please hit me up. Also,
did you do New Orleans?
No, we're going to New Orleans next year.
Somebody says when you go to New Orleans, use the Master P spot.
So Master P got a spot. All right, we will keep that in mind. That's Ramsey. What up, Ramsey?
That's Ramsey.
That's my boy.
That's Ramsey.
So too, I want you guys to know that the Black Agenda only uses Black-owned venues. And
Black-owned Airbnbs.
This is a very nice house we in. And it's raining, so we couldn't get in the pool in the backyard.
They got a jacuzzi in the backyard, and this is a Black-owned house.
I wish I would, and we paid probably 1/3.
And that's another thing with people.
If I went to Holiday Inn, this is so much better.
Airbnbs, like come on,
get in that business too.
You know this is this lucrative business,
man. This lady made in Detroit. She made 2 words of Detroit rent off us in 3 days, but it was still reasonable compared to going to a Holiday Inn for everybody.
Even when we was in DC for 3 days, that person got 1 month's rent in many cities in 3 days.
So imagine all month.
And that was a Black-owned spot too.
2 people to stay at your spot that
Come on, like, listen, the way they make money off of these things, I would get myself a little studio, take my house, turn it into an Airbnb, and make my paper. There's so many people that have houses and condos and co-ops, townhomes What are y'all doing, people?
Right.
What are y'all doing?
This is another business venture to get into, y'all. Y'all should keep that in mind. Like, shout out to the sister and her beautiful son that was on the picture, you know, that we spoke with earlier, that whose Airbnb this is. I'm glad she got to come up like this to be able to do this. But again, y'all, if y'all know black-owned venues, please hit me up. If you have an Airbnb and we're coming to your city and you like, look, we'll rent it out from you. Everything from the Airbnb, everything from where we throw our organizational training, everything from the VIP that we have afterwards to the event. We only do black-owned venues. You will not catch us in the Marriott. You will not catch us unless it's owned by a black man. So we do need those venues. I would tell you that's probably the most difficult thing. Not that it hasn't been done, because every 8 cities, I want you to know, we have been in black-owned venues every single city. So we made it happen. It's not impossible, right? But that is very important, and that's one of the things that kind of makes it difficult for us. So if you guys know of black-owned venues that we can do the VIP at, and the VIP ain't got to be a club. Like, it could be a nice venue where we can get our own DJ, right? We can have some food catered, and it's just a place for us to get together and to spend some time with the speakers that is a little bit more intimate than just having that time, you know, with everybody in the room for the event that day. But we need an event space. And I'm going to say this again. I've said it, y'all, probably with all the beef going on, but the Black Agenda would never want to do a room more than about 300 people. We're never going to go bigger than that, although we could go bigger than that, only because what we're doing, you can't really do planning, and you can't with 1,000 people in the room. You cannot do that with 800 people in the room, with 700 people in the room. So we keep rooms small for a reason. Mechee need to see you in your eyes. I need to hold your baby. I need to hug you. I need to talk to you. I need to know your face. So when I come back and my team and we're back in your hood and we come to your community, we know each other. So we make connections with people, right? So we're never going to be bigger than that. So we don't need y'all to find us giant venues, just something that hold about 300 people. So if y'all have these things, please send them to me, because Mechee is going to go on break after this. You're not going to see me on YouTube or anything. I will come back after the event and I will give y'all a recap. No, I'm so serious. You're not going to see me for at least a week.
Oh, a week.
At least a week. Ooh, oh yeah, because I got stuff to do. I can't. What I can take off for?
A week.
You already have been live for 4 days.
I'm the one that I'll disappear. I will disappear for a month. Because this would kill you.
I can't leave my phone
on
YouTube though.
I take care
for
of myself.
A whole month. Y'all will be inboxing me. I already got emails talking about Mechee, where you been for 4 days. So I know y'all be looking.
I'll disappear for a month because this is draining. It's so much energy that hits. I'm an energy person.
It is.
I'm an energy person. Anything that's gonna drain my energy, I remove from it. I do therapy with people. Every day, people sitting on my couch. People dump on me every day. Yeah, every day.
You're right.
I got to shut down.
If I get
emails, inboxes, I get that every day from people all over the state. I'm on my cruise and people come up to me, Dr. Shonna, that's you. My family's there.
Right. You're right.
I got to shut it down.
Mechee is an extrovert. I know.
And I'm an introvert.
Well, I'm both.
Believe it or not.
I'm an extrovert where I can talk to these people. That's what I'm gonna say. But
somebody's asking me if I'm Haitian. No, I'm not Haitian.
I'm just as much an introvert.
You might be new to the community. I'm not Haitian. My husband is Haitian. I'm African American lineage. I'm not Haitian whatsoever. My husband is. And somebody said,
Mechee, you better not disappear for a month. All hell will break loose.
She ain't gonna disappear for a month.
I'm not. I would just
text him like, Mechee, you just
need a week.
Relax, take a vacation, let's do something. I'm let's take some time. Let's not be upset, Mechee. She's like, fuck that. I'm like, can I give you a hug? Come on, Mechee.
Look, no, but you know what? Because we actually have a meeting in a week. I told them I need a week, but then we go right back to planning because we have next year. And I want to tell you, next year, I don't want to have to. It could be a lot easier. This is my first time. I have learned from my mistakes of how I can make this much easier. And so out the door next year, when we do announce to you guys what cities we're coming to and what dates, we will already have the venue solidified. We will already have that done. Like, I was still looking for a place here a week ago and look at how close we are, right? Because we needed a place. And so I want y'all to know we will be planning. So please hit me in my inbox, therealmecheex@gmail.com. And let me know if you know of black-owned venues in your areas, because the places that we can get more organizations and we can find our black-owned venues is going to be a big part of where we go next.
He's saying Michael. Oh, yeah, I know Michael Roberts. He's associated with Dr. George Frazier, which I know as well. He said Michael Roberts has hotels in St. Louis. He has hotels in all over. So yeah, he's a black guy.
Okay.
So.
Ramsey, you always, I love Ramsey. Shout out to that brother.
And Ramsey's dope.
He is. I love this brother.
I can't wait to meet Ramsey.
He has, well, I've met him at many events. I met him at the All Black National Convention. He has been my friend for, ever since then, he been a writer. Like, he donates tickets for people. He shows up in Atlanta. You know, he went to the All Black National Convention just to check a man for me. Like, I love you, brother.
See, I love people.
I love you, brother. I love you. I do.
Because people like that, when they support the vision, they're committed and they're dedicated, right? A lot of people on social media, I'm gonna go talk about our people. We like entertainment too goddamn much.
Yeah.
We like to be entertained. I'm not in a place right now to be fucking entertained.
I mean,
people are dying all around us.
Right.
People are coming to our homes, killing us. People are destroying our families. You can go into any hood and see an advertising for divorce for $3.99 with a liquor sign right under it. That's a problem.
What I want people to know too is that Tatiana got killed in her house by the police. Yes.
It's a problem.
Do y'all think just because you've heard on national news that nobody else has been shot by the police? Do you know how many other brothers and sisters have died? You just don't know?
A lot.
You just don't know?
A lot.
Because they don't put it on the news? You know what I'm saying? We don't have time to play.
Set up a Google alert.
We don't have time.
Do a Google alert.
We don't have time to be made to feel good. We don't have time to have these little feel good moments to be entertained. We can't come with real solutions. It's a waste of damn time. If you ain't got no solution, Mechee, I don't want to hear it. If we're not talking about how we getting the fuck up out this situation, if we're not talking about how we gonna build this underground railroad or whatever you call it, how we gonna head for some freedom, how we're gonna get what belongs to us and stop living in these conditions, I don't want to talk about anything else but that. You know, I had a baby girl, and I'm going to call her baby girl. She's 13 years old, and she came out to San Antonio, Texas. Shout out to San Antonio, Texas. The brother out there, Sydney, and some people, Summer, I love you, sister. She put some stuff together to bring me out there personally. And this young girl came. She's 13 years old, and she came up to the table. And she actually told her mom she wanted to come because she watched me. Her mother does too. But the young ones always touch me. Like, when kids be coming in there like 7, 8, like, Mechee. I'm like, really? Your mama let you watch me? but they love me. And it's so wonderful.
You like auntie.
Right.
You auntie.
And so, but she wrote me a poem, you know, where the word justice was there, and then she wrote a line for each thing, and it talked about forever looking around your back, you know, worrying about being killed. Like, I'm gonna read it. She'll be there again tomorrow. Her and her mom said they're coming, so I'm gonna read her poem. I'm gonna bring her up and show her some love. But you know, the one thing that hit me is for her to be 13 and to have to be writing a poem, and this is how she thinks about her life, and it can be gone any moment. It makes me sad. And I think that we owe this young girl an apology tomorrow. I apologize that she has to be left in this condition. And I'm sorry that we didn't fix it before now. I'm sorry that we didn't stop it before now. But I promise her that we're going to do everything we can so that the next generation don't got to continue to live like this.
But you know what? The thing is, and it's not even a but, it's and you know what. It's not a but, it's and you know what. Right. I'm glad you're speaking to that. Because that's why I always speak to trauma in our community.
Yes.
Because there are so many men I work with who have a history of incarceration, who are trying to keep their families together. They're trying to reunify with their families and be in a healthy way, rebuild their marriages. And you know what they all tell me? Dr. Shonna, I never even imagined that I would live to 40. So now they don't know what to do with their lives.
The youth don't. They don't even plan to live. They don't even plan to live.
And so she is so far, the wife is, or the girlfriend, or the mother, the children are so far advanced past this black man. Talking about one person in particular. I get a lot like this. And he can't even grapple it. He can't even keep up. He never even planned to live past 40.
You're right.
You get what I'm saying? So this is needed.
That was kind of part of her poem. It's like our youth live expecting to die.
They don't expect
to
die. And here it is.
So I don't have time.
People to be
I don't have time for motherfucking entertainment. I don't have time for bells and whistles. I don't have time for singing and dancing and ooh, let's get together. If you don't bring some solutions with that, now don't get me wrong. For as much as we go through stuff, we definitely need times to have a good time because we're always going through so much stress. But all of that entertainment and shit is not going to ever make us free. So if you ain't talking about a solution, then I'm not down with any vision. Absolutely. But if we got a solution, then I'm all for it, right?
Yeah,
I'm all for it.
Absolutely.
So, you know, but I just think we got to stop playing. Like at the end of the day, I don't need a million black folks. I just need the right black folks that understand the position we're in and they really ready to do something about it, right? You know, by any means necessary. Like, we love to say that line. We love to say get free or die trying. But how many of us like really mean that? I need us to really understand. And I said this to people in the Black Agenda. I told them this in D.C. towards the end. It's a lot of people in this room, standing room only. The guy asked me, well, what's the real solution? I gave him the solution and I said, you may not like that answer, but in a nutshell, that's the damn answer. And all of us are not ready to do that. But the bottom line is that freedom is not free. It's going to cost you something, and it may cost you everything, right? So my question is, and I told them, I said, for a lot of us that are here today on phase 1, by the time the Black Agenda gets to phase 3, a lot of them that are with us on phase 1, they will not be there because they're not cut out for that type of where we're going.
You know what I would like to also see? I know I'm coming from a different perspective, but what I would also like to see as we rebuild and structure the community is healing.
Absolutely. That's a part of it. Healing. That's why you're there.
It's healing.
At the Black Agenda.
And that's why, exactly, and that's when we come in and we have this discussion. That's why I love what Mechee is doing with the Black Agenda, because she gives people like me in the mental health world, she gives us an opportunity to heal the people or to give them strategies toward healing. Because you're not going to get free if you're still living in a traumatic mind.
Absolutely.
It's just not going to happen.
But more importantly, Dr. Shonna, speak to this. I say this all the time. That what we have done is we have learned how to function in dysfunction. And it's normal to us. We don't even know it's dysfunctional.
We have normalized pathologies.
Yes. Absolutely.
And here lies poverty, rape, violence towards women, violence towards each other. It doesn't matter. All of that stuff is wrapped in trauma. And the white community keeps traumatizing us over and over and over again. And some of us have normalized it so much that we don't even know. We don't even know when someone keeps poking at our emotional wounds and our generational pathology and all of our hurt and pain that's been passed down from generation to generation to generation. And we wonder why we still can't get forward.
Because we function in dysfunction as though it's normalcy. We pass our dysfunction down to generations as though this is what is right. And so we don't even know it's wrong. This is why so many Black people walk around in the Black community and we look at mental health issues like it's a stigma. We're scared to say that we're mentally messed up. But the truth is, as Black people, we all are. We have anger issues. We suffer from depression. Like, how many sisters and brothers, and especially sisters in the hood, your child gets shot or your child go to jail or somebody in your family die in a violent way. And you know what you got to do? You got to pick the fuck up. You got to go to work. You got to go to work because nobody cares. And if you don't go to work, you can't pay your bills. So you got to learn to keep moving on. You don't even get time to grieve.
You ain't even really
and then you
ain't really.
Yes. I got women that will get raped tonight and be at work tomorrow. That is a problem.
Yeah. We're not allowed time to grieve because we're stuck in survival mode so much. I will tell you one of the biggest things, there's plenty of things, but one of the biggest things I need Black people to do is I need us to find some type of financial freedom in our life. Because time, your time is valuable. It's worth something. And the truth is we're so stuck in survival mode, which is the plan, that we have schools and social media and everything else raising our children. We don't have the time to study the enemy. We don't even have the time to really see what's happening to us. We don't have the time to raise our own children. We don't have the time to build our own communities because you're so stuck in survival mode. There is nothing left because you got to pay these bills. You got to keep a roof over your head. And that is their focus, to keep you constantly working. I don't know about y'all, but do you believe that you were created to just come here every day, get up, go to work, and then die and just pay bills? That don't even sound right. The Creator making you and being the ultimate being that you are as a human being, to think that this is what the fuck life is supposed to be? That doesn't even make any sense.
And you know another thing that we got to stop doing? We got to stop ignoring our children.
Absolutely.
And start with the anti-Blackness in our own house when it comes to our children. Ain't nothing wrong with you. Get the fuck out. Get this house.
What are you doing? You want them new Jordans? They don't need them new Jordans. You don't need that big old house.
Well, forget about
bedroom as long as you're seeing your children and there for your children.
That's the net talking.
That's
talking. You're right in that. But I'm saying even beyond what we're buying our children, I'm not even talking about that. I'm saying not recognizing how depression shows up in children. Not recognizing how trauma shows up in children. So we think they're being lazy. We think they're not listening. We think they're hard-headed. You better just listen to the teacher. If you're going to do this, well, we know who taught us that. And we just keep repeating it over and over again. What I'm saying is we have to have mental health conversations because we have to start to recognize these signs of depression that show up differently in children than they do in adults. We have to understand depression is not always, oh, I'm sad. Well, there's a gray cloud over my head. Well, it's anger too.
So, talking about solutions.
It's violence
because this is what we're about. So can we do a list and start to be able to make that a part that we can hand this out when we talk about mental health? Let's give these people a list.
We can do a list
of what to look for.
What to look for.
I think that we should definitely then. And see, this is what I'm talking about. Solutions don't have to fucking be ginormous. Like, they can start off small. It's a necessary thing that's needed. So she said, and it's true, a lot of us don't recognize the signs of if our children are depressed. Kids are committing suicide like never before. Black babies too. It's not just the white kids doing this. Like, come on.
And kids are killing kids too. That's also a sign of depression.
Yes, it is.
And trauma.
But even a child, let me tell you something.
But we're criminalizing them.
I don't care what nobody says. If a 14-year-old boy is running the streets and he got a gun and he shoot another boy because he's in a gang, I want you to know that there's nothing like taking somebody's life. That boy struggles with that still. That's not an easy thing for him. But he thinks this is life. So he just copes with it.
And it's still trauma.
But he's traumatized.
It's still trauma.
Trust and believe me. To have to
so
live
we send him to jail. We don't rehabilitate the trauma. He does it when he's 14, so he's out by 25, but he has trauma.
And he
has trauma.
And he's been socialized in jail.
He impregnates somebody. Now he has children. And he causes not only the children trauma, but her trauma.
And then they think it's normalcy. And then the babies grow up thinking this is normal, and then they pass that dysfunction down to the rest. So that's something that's a solution. And see, this is the type of things that we're talking about. And you see how just this conversation creates another solution? Because just like we have a list of solutions at the Black Agenda that we give you, some we don't write down. You got to write down for your damn self. Just something as simple as that. Somebody as qualified as Dr. Shonna to be able to just write a list that we can pass out. That you can go to the Black Agenda website and look at these signs so that you can look at the things that make, because you would be surprised. A lot of signs that show that your child or even someone around you is depressed or is dealing with certain mental health issues, if you're not educated in it, you would think you would know what to look for, but you don't. You would be surprised some of the signs would not, as a person who's not educated, it wouldn't really know what to look for.
We got people who are married to trauma.
Absolutely. They don't even know how to be comfortable with it.
He's in trauma. Even if they're not married. We got people in relationships who are both traumatized.
Absolutely.
He's hiding his sexual abuse. She's hiding her sexual abuse. And they're re-traumatizing each other over and over and over again. And they're going to the wrong therapists that don't understand it. They're not African-centered. They're giving you the wrong medicine. You keep taking it and you wonder why these relationships are failing.
I think it's important too that we don't go to white people to get our
that's a whole nother conversation.
Please stop that too. Jesus. But you're right. You need to get you somebody that is black. And we do talk about this at the Black Agenda, and I would throw this out here because it's not so top secret. I can't tell everybody. But this is one solution that I give at the Black Agenda. I would say that you guys can start in your home right now. So how about this? Let me put the onus back on you. Right? Here goes some responsibility for you if you want to get free. One thing that I talk about is us having groups in our home where we do healing groups, right? We talk about like AA and NA. They're very successful in people's rates of staying off of narcotics and alcohol. And the reason being is because the way the group is set up. It's a lot of people in there. Nobody is just running the group one person by themselves. It's a lot of people who have the same trauma in common. They're dealing with their addiction and they reach off of each other's support. They support one another because they can understand the issues. And it's a really successful thing. So what I tell people at the Black Agenda is just exactly like how you get this vision one day and you're like, I had a dream and I got a vision. I'm going to be a pastor. And what's the first thing y'all do? You go and start a church in your house. Next thing you know, you invite over your auntie, a couple people you know. You got 7 people in your living room, and now it's church time, right? And then on Wednesday, you have Bible study in your living room. You put on some coffee and get some water and some little cookies and shit. And then everybody comes over and you're having Bible study. Well, why can't you do the same thing and invite people over in your family and folks in your community and your friends and just simply sit back and talk about the things you're going through? You will be surprised in that room how many people will understand your pain, how many times you'll be able to shed your tears, how many times you won't feel alone, how much getting it off your chest will make you feel better. Sometimes when you're going through something and you don't know how to deal with it, somebody else in that room may have a support or a solution for you. And then you begin to be there for each other. Not that you're the answer, but just the fact that you're not alone going through it. You will find out other people in the room and watch how that will grow, just like your Bible study grows, just like your church grows. The next thing you know, you spending $100 to rent out the Holiday Inn room on a Sunday for 3 hours so you can have a church service. Well, guess what? You can rent it out for 3 hours for $100 to have a bigger service to do that too as well. So there are ways, and you don't have to be a licensed therapist. I'm not telling you to give anybody any advice. I'm telling you to get together and be each other's support system.
People have to understand that therapists don't give advice. And if you're going to a therapist that's giving you advice, that's bad for business, number one. Because this is about us together,
Absolutely.
working together to come up with your solutions.
Right.
And I tell therapists
a lot of times they come up with their own if you let them talk.
When I do,
they got the answers.
Well, it's a different strategy in my room.
They don't want to deal with it.
It's a very different strategy in my room. But I tell therapists when I train them all the time, if you're giving people advice, you better have a lot of malpractice insurance.
Right.
Because somebody follows your advice, and especially if you're going to a therapist who is operating in their own trauma. Mm-hmm. And then they're giving you advice from trauma.
Especially if you're going to a white one.
So that's crazy.
They don't even understand your black behind.
Somebody said, what can I do if I can't find a black therapist? I would say get in therapy and interview your therapist. You don't have to go to a therapist and just start with them automatically and stay with them.
Therapists and color coalitions all over each.
They are. Interview them. Sometimes you got to travel. I think if you've never been in therapy before, I would not recommend you go to an online therapist because it removes the human connection. Mm-hmm. And we as therapists, there's certain things that we have to see. We have to see nonverbal communication. And if a therapist is not picking up on nonverbal communication, that is a no-no. That is an ultimate no-no. So what I'm going to say to you is interview your therapist. Interview them. And while you do them, keep asking around and keep asking different people. And eventually you will find somebody. But just because you find a black therapist doesn't mean that's a black therapist for you.
Somebody said it took them 3 tries before they found a perfect fit. Yeah. And I'm glad that you took the time to find them. Don't just think automatically because they're a therapist is the one for me. So let me tell you, that's something else. Shout out to you, Penny. I love Penny, y'all. For a lot of reasons, but I love
and another thing I wanted to know, somebody asked me, what are my socials? You spelled my name correctly. The person who asked me, what are my socials, like me and my handles, you spelled my name correctly. That's all you need is Dr. Shonna. Just go Google that and you will find all my socials. I'm Dr. Shonna on Instagram. I'm Dr. Shonna on Facebook. I'm Dr. Shonna on YouTube. You will find me if you just put the Dr. Shonna.
Shout out to Penny. She said that she has had a lot of success working with life coaches with her juvenile clients. It's made a huge difference in their lives.
Yeah.
So shout out to but let me tell you something. This conversation once again. See how when you're in a room of a couple hundred people, because it's just me and her. These conversations take place because since we've sat here, I've decided in this sense now that there's some things we need to do. So we need to come up with a list of things people can look for. Maybe we need to at the Black Agenda. Maybe we need to start reaching out to you guys and doing our own research so that we can have a list of black therapists for you in your area so you know where to find them. If you know, send them to us.
Yes.
We will do some research ourselves so that you can go to the Black Agenda website and those things will be there because these things are needed in our community. And so, and again, we are on answer. I don't think that any of these solutions at this point, we don't have to go outside of ourselves and our community. We have what we need in our communities. We just have to, sometimes we don't know they're there.
If you have any type of skill or profession, send me an email, ask Dr. Shonna, AskDrshonna @gmail.com. Ask Dr. Shonna. Send me an email so that I can compile a list. So when people ask me, I can just say, this is where you go, this is where you go, this is where you go. Because there are so many lists around, you're absolutely right. Some of these lists cost money. Mm-hmm. Just to be honest with you, some of these lists cost money. I don't want your money. You give it to me, I thank you for that. But I'm not asking it in order for me to put together a list. Just let me know if you are a therapist, if you are a life coach, send me the information. Now I am going to research you because my name is tied to it. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to be like, go to this life coach and then you you trained yourself in your bedroom and you only had one client. Now I'm not trying to be funny.
You got a certificate online in 6 weeks.
I'm not trying to be funny. Shit. I ain't trying to be funny. I am going to research you, but send it in. This is why we're a community. This is why we come on, because this is how you build community. It's not about you following Mechee or you following Dr. Shonna. That's not what this is about. This is about how can we follow each other? How can we build a community with others? It's one of us and it's all of y'all. We can't remember everyone's name. We can't remember everyone's email. Send us an email and give us time, people. We do a lot. We're here in Texas. We don't live in Texas.
I got emails I got to get to right now.
Give us time and we will get to it. We'll get to it.
Right. So, I mean, I don't know. I think we kind of said a lot.
Somebody said it was a 13-year-old in Texas that got 25 years. I was trying to read it, but I can't really pick it up. Thank you, Pinnacle. Pinnacle said
shout out to everybody for the donations in the chat.
Yeah, Ramsey said the National Association of Black Psychologists is there. You have the National Association of Black Social Workers. You have those things. But again, I'm not going to co-sign any individual in those networks unless I know them personally. Mm-hmm. And just because you are part of the network doesn't mean that you're skilled at what you do.
Right, right.
I'm not going to make that up.
I'm not just because they black.
What is the 13-year-old?
I don't know.
But I'm going to look into it.
But I wouldn't be surprised. I will tell you this, that what most people don't know, something that slips underneath our noses every day that we could be fighting for, that we don't, to change the laws, is that in every single state, for the most part, there might be 2. Mm-hmm. They are able in the judicial system to try a child as an adult as young as 10 years old. Now, I think that's the injustice, whether you want to talk about black kids or not.
And trauma.
Any kid, right?
And trauma.
I don't give a fuck at 10 years old what a kid does. If you murder your whole family at 10, something wrong with you, but I wouldn't throw you away in prison. You need some help. At 10 years old, I don't know what a kid could do at all for me to believe that they deserve to be tried as an adult and go to prison for the
25
rest of their life.
years.
So my thing would be is that these are things we don't pay attention to that we could change in the law. That has everything to do with politics and statutes. But most
states,
they said
Fort Worth. There's another one. Fort Worth.
Fort Worth is off the chain. This is why we said we need to go to Fort Worth. Fort Worth need to get it. I'm telling you.
Go to Fort Worth. I know somebody was telling us Dallas, but I think we had to go to Fort Worth.
Fort Worth is where the Botham Jean thing happened. Yes.
All of that stuff.
Isn't that where Tatiana? I think Fort Worth is where we need to go because Fort Worth need to get it. I'm telling you. All of this stuff continues to happen out there. But Texas is off the chain, period. Texas has always been a racist ass state. Forever. I remember being a little kid watching. I remember being a little kid, and they just shout out to you, Joette. I love you, sis.
Yeah, somebody talking about Rodney Reed. Absolutely, about Rodney Reed. If you guys have not signed the petition on change.org to so that he won't be put to death, I suggest that you guys go ahead and do that. And this is why we do these kind of things. Mm-hmm. This is why we have the community, because what we forget, because it's easy to be on your side of the screen, it's hard to be on this side of the screen. The comments go so fast. There's so many information comes to us. We can't get to everything.
She said that the 13-year-old... Shout out to Tiana. She said 13-year-old double murder suspect escaped and was turned in by his mother. Oh, I know that had to be hard for his mother.
Wow, that's trauma too. That's called vicarious trauma. That's vicarious trauma. So who's healing this mother? Who's working with this mother?
And I'm sorry. I don't care what nobody say. That 13-year-old could have killed my kids, and I would still somewhere feel like, damn, how did this 13-year-old end up in this situation? I still wouldn't believe as the mother of the victims, if those were my kids, that this boy should be thrown away for life. I would want to know what's wrong with him and for somebody to help him. 13 years old is a baby. And that's just crazy, right?
But anyway, I'm about to get on out of here.
Yeah. So shout out to you, Penny. Penny always be coming through with the legality. She said that most children at the age of 13 can be tried as an adult. You know, and she knows what she's talking about because she was a judge for many years and she's an attorney right now, so she knows what she's doing. Shout out to her. I appreciate you for all your help and everything that you give. But let me say this. We are going to get out of here because we still got stuff to do. But y'all don't forget, there's still room. It's not much room left, but we letting everybody in till it ain't no more room. You know, if you don't mind standing, we let you in into it, and then we'll close the doors. But go over to the blackagendamovement.com, you guys, and reserve your tickets. We're just asking for a donation at the door. People have donated that are not even here to make it possible for other people to come in. I get people who donate, say, here go, 2 ticket prices. I want to donate to somebody. And so we just ask that you donate to pay it forward because we will be planning next year. As soon as it's over, I'm going to take a break. I need about a week, and then me and my team going to get back together, and we're going to start planning these cities. We're going to start finding these venues, and I want you to know a big part of the people who help me do this are you guys right there. Behind the scenes, I found some really great folks that have given me information, that have found me places. It's you guys that have done this. I didn't do this on my own. My team helps us sometimes, but most of the time, it's you guys. Y'all reach out and be like, yo, sis, I found a place for your event. Yo, my family over here got this. I can do that, right? And so I appreciate y'all. I want y'all to know that I could not do this without any of y'all's help. So I thank you that y'all have helped us like y'all have. This is truly the people's movement. I want y'all to know that we haven't made this happen. Y'all made this happen because we could get on a damn plane and we could get in that little kindergarten van they tease us about. We are in a 12-passenger van. So what? I like our little van. We traveling. And we're all in this van, and we're in Airbnbs, and we could show up. But if the people didn't believe in what we were doing and you guys were not actually growing from the information that we're giving you, people come back and say, I did the things you told me to do, and it is changing my life. And so that's my reward. And so if it wasn't for that, then it wouldn't be, I say all the time, if a tree falls in the forest and no one's there to hear, it doesn't make a sound. If I went live, if we did all these things and you guys were not there, it would not matter. So I want you to know that we're not not the Black agenda. You're the Black agenda. And so we appreciate you, and we want you to know that, you know, we keep moving forward because you allow us to do so. So if you're in the area, please go get your ticket. I would love to see you. And I say for a donation at the door, but if you come and you ain't got no donation, I mean, we ain't going to tell you no. So, you know, the place is paid for. Bodies need to be in that room. And we are almost full, but we just want as many as possible up in there, right? So, you guys, like I said, if y'all have information of cities y'all want us to come to, you already know Black event spaces and things like that, please send them to me, because that's how I get this information, is through you guys. Because looking up on my own, I can never do it all by myself. I do want to thank Dr. Shonna while she's here with everybody here. And I don't know, can I tell them about the show, or is that not official?
It's fine.
Okay, so me and you on two shows. Okay, so anyway, I know everybody said this was a great duo, so I want you guys to know.
I'm like, yeah, tell me what show.
Right. I want you guys to know that me and Dr. Shonna do have a show coming up on another network. It won't be this one. And it will be me and her. I will be the host. She will be co-hosting with me. And we will be interviewing you guys. Y'all can come on, and we'll be talking to some people that you have seen online that have gone through some really harsh things. But then we'll be talking about topics like this. You guys will be able to send in topics. We'll probably have a segment where we will answer some questions to an email. We'll pick a question or two. So me and Dr. Shonna will be doing that really soon. You will see that coming up in December, and we will give you guys all of that information. So I'm looking forward to that. But before we go out, I was wondering if Danette could sing for us. I have my wonderful sister here that I love, and at the Black Agenda, she sings for us, and she's the host, and she's a dope jazz singer. And if you're there tomorrow, she has her CDs. I love this lady, and not including, look at them dimples she got. Like, how can you not love her, right? And so anyway, I'm gonna ask her, just like at the Black, if she could just take us out with a song. We love you guys. I want to thank y'all for tuning in. Please like this video, share this video, tell your family and them, if they're in the area and you're not, for them to come on in and see about us. And other than that, like, y'all keep doing what we've been doing, and let's make this happen. It's just gonna get bigger next year. And I love y'all. With that said, let's go get this knowledge.
Thank you guys for the donations. Yes. Thank every last one of you guys for the donations. Thank you so much.
Proud Black man flexing his chest and holding his ground and doing his best, and fist in the air. Fist in the air. Said, I never seen so many beautiful faces. I, immortal light in third eye places. I never seen so many beautiful faces. I look at God, look at God, look at God. Chocolate chai, chocolate chai, chocolate chai. Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Turkey thigh, turkey thigh, turkey thigh, said I. Juneteenth, y'all. We'll see you at the Black Agenda.
Woo-hoo! Now go ahead and turn on your twerking music. Yes. I ain't got time for you fake assholes.
That's my type. That's my type.
That's my line to all night. Look, I ain't got time for you fake assholes.
We love you guys.
Some
Good
of y'all
night.
business hoes too. Y'all be good. I see y'all tomorrow.